Alright guys, I'm going to start a new series, and this is basically me looking at different classes in Conquest of Elysium and just talking about my experiences with them. And I'm going to basically put one of these videos out every now and again as I learn a new class, figure out what I think it's like, and kind of understand it well enough to be able to talk about it and do a short video on it. I'm going to try to keep the length of these relatively short because I've got a habit of making overlong videos and I want to kind of get out of that. I want these to be kind of relatively short, so... Anyway, first one we're looking at is the Illusionist. Now here is a game that I've basically won. This was by far one of the easiest games that I've played. So that gives you some indication of what I think about the Illusionist. The Illusionist, in my tier list, I ranked it as S tier. I've not changed my mind on that. He's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you why. So the Illusionism, is a very, very powerful magic school. You get a whole bunch of spells that are absolutely just oppressive to deal with when you're fighting against things that it can affect, which is most living creatures basically. So sleep is a pretty good spell. You also get fear, so some of your mages are going to be able to cast fear. We just see if we've got any more mages attached here. This is interesting. Look, I captured the emperor of this of the Capitolum and his disease. So this guy's dying, right? But yeah, I've actually captured him. So yeah, you can cause confusion, and confusion is one of the spells that you can often do. And confusion will basically, hold on a minute, let's just get to Benjamin. Confusion will like just mass turn people on your side. Sometimes it will just make them attack their own players. So it's if you can use the charm effect of confusion, that can direct a lot of enemy attacks away from your troops. So yeah, sleep is really good. So is confusion. You've also got fear. Fear will, if you cast fear on the Troll King, he's just going to run away and you've beaten him in one go. Okay, so like anything with relatively low magic resistance that can be affected by his spells. So that's basically non-inanimate object, inanimate troops or undead. The kind of mindless undead. They are just not going to be affected by that. But everything else, he's just so strong, and you have a little bit of a difficult early game, I'd say, because it's not that difficult if you know how to use him. The ritual, we'll have to look at the rituals a little bit. So one of the early game rituals you're going to come across is capture images and capture spell. And what you do is you purchase these. Let's go to recruit. Look, and you can see. You can buy these mirrors, and there's different sizes of mirror. So you've got the small mirror, the large mirror, then you've got silver and gold. Now, each one of them will hold a different amount of spells or images. The images are basically one hit point ethereal troops that will charge out of the mirror and just spam up the enemy, basically. They'll charge forward. You might get animals, you might get soldiers. They can do damage, but if they take a single hit and it gets through the ethereal nature of them, then, basically, I can't remember what the dice roll is for ethereal. I think it's 80% or 75%. But if you pass that, if you actually get past the ethereal, then you'll kill it. But if you've got enough of these mirrors in the early game, you can get out loads and loads of these. So they're deceptive because you can have a very small army with the Illusionist. Look, I mean, this is an end game army with the Illusionist, and it doesn't look like a lot of troops. Most of these guys are just heavy infantry, swordsmen, and archers and crossbows. You will make some good use of these troops, these base troops, for a while, but you really don't need them because the mirrors, either they're throwing out images, these phantasmal images. No, sorry, they're not the phantasmal images. They're something else. But they either throw out the images or they can be used to store spells. And every turn, one of these mirrors will fire a spell, and it's usually a first level spell. If you need if it's a second level spell you want to cast, then you've got to use the larger mirror. And then the different types of mirrors can do different things. The silver mirror, I think that's just more. I think that captures certain kinds of spells and it just does more. But the silver and gold will also hold phantasms, and you get access to these a little bit later on. So once you've become a master illusionist. Oh no, it's the second level of Illusionist. So I think it's just Illusionist. But eventually you'll get access to phantasms. Now phantasms, they're basically like the images. The difference is, I'll show you. Okay, so I'll just show you what this does. I don't care about the other commanders for the time being. you'll see what these phantasms do. So here we go. We've got a fairly large army, and now the illusionist, the master illusionist himself, is going to be doing some really, really serious damage here. But I just want to show you when these things come out. So look, these are phantasms. Now these are that's Spearman Illusion. These are illusionary ones as well. So you see the illusion ones have just got 1 hit point, but they're ethereal. They can go through walls. So the illusionist is really good at taking cities. But once we've got into range, we're going to start throwing out some phantasms, because we've got a golden soldier mirror here full of phantasms, and you'll see what these ones do. So let's just speed it up a little bit. There we go. These ones are the phantasms. So these ones aren't blue, basically, but they are still ethereal. And what these are, they're like they are just the troop that they represent, except they're also ethereal and mindless and floating. So they're not affected by anything that can affect living troops. They've got 99 morale. They've got magic resistance 10, and they hit. You know, they still hit just like they would as if they were a normal troop. So with this 1 to 9 sweeping damage in this case, with the Phantasmal Zweihander, they've also got 6 hit points. So they don't just die in 1 hit. This is just ridiculous. It's like one of the strongest things I've ever seen in Conquest of Elysium. This is way better than creating hordes. I mean, and just look how many of these the Golden Mirror will just spit out every turn. Like, there we go. We got about, I think it was 10. I think they spit out 10. No, sorry, 6 soldiers every turn. So every turn you're going to get 6 new troops, and these are not just like base, like I say, not just base level troops. They're like a base level troop with a load of buffs on them, including, you know, being basically immune to all sorts of stuff and almost impossible to kill, or very, very hard to kill without magic weapons. So yeah, that's just crazy. You get these phantasmal snakes. So all these things are like, you get these phantasmal versions of the swarm spells as well. So yeah, that's the thing. So that's one reason. That is one incredibly powerful, you know, thing that the illusionist can do. All right. So that's one kind of borderline broken mechanic. It's not broken, because there is other stuff in the game that is really, really powerful that can deal. You know, they can kind of counter that. But I'd say that it's on the more powerful end of things. They also are able to summon these phase beasts. So you get phase spiders, and there's a displacer beast as well, which is kind of like the old Dungeons and Dragons thing, like a cat with tentacles, basically, you know, like a panther with tentacles, or a puma or something like that. These things are really good as well. They're displaced, so when the enemies attack them, they actually aren't where they're looking like they are. They've got this venomous phase bite, which basically means they've got a ranged attack, and it's just a massive poison. If they actually damage the enemy. And it's got piercing, sorry, it's slash damage, but then they also do this 1 to 20 armor negating. This is like dangerous poison, really strong poison. So these are really good as well, and you only get one of them when you do the ritual. If you summon a phase beast, look, you just get one. Here's the displacer beast, look. This one's not poisonous, but it's just got a whole bunch of attacks. It's fast, it's stealthy, and it's displaced. So you can sneak around with these things, and yeah, they're just ridiculous. Look how many attacks it's got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 5 attacks. So yeah, this thing, and you know, added to the fact that it's displaced. You know, it's hard to hit with ranged attacks. It gives some protection against melee attacks as well. So yeah, it's just really, really good. They've got a bunch of other stuff basically. They've got a load of things for defending your own cities. You've got this nice spell that you can cast it on your original tower. And I don't know where that one is. Let's just go to the... Yeah, here... Okay, so... At the moment, our original tower is here. Oh no, that's the Cloud Palace. Sorry, folks. Where is it? Here we go. It's this one here. It's the Crystal Tower, I think. No, it's this palace. This is the one. Okay, so this has become a Palace of Dreams. And now, what you do with this, it's got this spell that you can cast on it, right? And it's called the Palace of Ever-Changing Dreams, and you can only cast it in a Crystal Palace. But what this does is every month after it's been activated, there's a chance that it will teleport somewhere, and it's usually a mountain. I think it's a mountain, but it can go to other planes basically. So you can teleport around other planes as well. And when you're happy with, it will keep doing this until you're kind of happy with where it is, and then you can kind of turn it off. So it's really interesting because you can just kind of like just teleport around. The other thing that you, I mean, and that means you can get to other planes basically. So he's a plane traveler, so you can go and explore other stuff. The other thing you can do is you can travel through mirrors. Now, you can't immediately... I don't think you can take armies through them. You've got the mirror gate. Oh, yeah, so you can. You've got mirror walk, where the illusionist steps into an empty mirror and appears in another mirror. So if you're in trouble, as long as you've got a mirror on you and you've got one in one of your recruitment locations, you can just escape and you can just jump back to one of the other mirrors. And later on, like once you become the master illusionist, then you can get this one, mirror gate. So you have 2 golden mirrors and you just move your entire army through the gate. So you can just set up this network of golden mirrors. And they're not cheap, they're 100 gold, but you know, they're at the end of a game, they're relatively trivial to get. You can basically have one of these in every important recruitment location, and then you can just move your armies. You can teleport them pretty much wherever you want to go. You know, I could go down here and then just ditch a golden mirror down here, look. And then it doesn't even have to be a recruitment agent like place. I could then go to one of my other guys who's got, Verbius, yeah, this guy he's got mirror gate, look, so we can cast mirror gate and we can bring him up here, look, there we go. So Viribius here now just teleported up here just to be with Benjamin. So you've got incredible mobility like nothing else in the game, really. It's just this teleport spell where you can move whole armies around, and that is nothing. Like, we ain't even started yet, right? We've also got Fata Morgana. Yeah, so you can. This is another cool one. You can hide locations. So let's say you've, I don't know. Let's say, for example, you want to open the gate to hell, right? And the hell gate's opened. You could potentially cast Fata Morgana around it, and then it will just disappear, so nobody can find it. Or you could do it like, you know, traditionally you'll do it on something like a mine. So let's say you've got a mine with a load of gem income that's really nice for you, and enemies keep, you know, zooming in for it. Well, you can just hide it with Fata Morgana. So they can't see it at all. The only way they can see it is if they wander into it. The AI will use this as well. So sometimes, you know, they'll take a mine off you and then it just disappears and you can't find it. So you can hide like ports, you can hide armies in it. It's just, I think you can hide armies in it. Actually, that's something I don't know. Can you hide armies with Fata Morgana? There's only one way to find out. Yup, I think you can. So let's just go to I. Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, completely hide a location by making it look like an ordinary, uninteresting place for everyone else. So beings with spirit sight can see through it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that now nobody can see this. So it just looks like an ordinary location. So I think you can probably hide units in there. I need to double check that. But even without it, it's incredibly strong. So you can just, you know, not only can you teleport these armies around, you can also make them invisible as well. And then, yeah, you can capture the greater spells, so you can actually put level 2 and level 3 spells into a golden mirror. And some of the level 3 spells are really, really strong. Combat spells I'm talking about. So, for example, Benjamin here's got Visions of Dread. It does a armor, like basically a great difficulty, magic resistance negates 1 to 8, fear attack versus morale, and it hits everything. But, well, not everything. It's a burst for 100, but that's a lot, right? So you can just make whole armies run. Mist of Confusion does a 25 area effect confusion attack, which is also incredibly strong. This guy, he's got the same spells there. Let's just see if I might have some other illusionists. I think those are the only grand. Oh, hang on, we've got another master illusionist here. Now here's the thing. Why have we got 2 master illusionists called Benjamin? And why is it that one of them, we've got 2 here, look. They've got all the same spells. And we've got another one, you know, that we were looking at earlier. Well, the reason is because of their other really, really strong, borderline broken OP mechanic. And that is that the Master Illusionist can get a level 3 ritual called Simulacrum, or Create Simulacrum. For just 50 gems, you create an exact copy of the caster. And he can command armies. He's got all the same spells. The only difference is that you can't cast rituals. So this isn't some crazy scaling thing where you can, you know, create a simulacrum and then that one creates a simulacrum. You can't kind of have this sort of exponential growth. However, you do. I mean, pretty much, if you've got a decent gem income, look with this. I mean, okay, I've pretty much won this map now, so I've got a very strong gem income. But let's say you've got 10 gems a turn, which is reasonable, right? Every 5 turns, you can create another level 3 Master Illusionist. You know, a level 3 spellcaster who can do Visions of Dread, Mists of Confusion, and all the other mad stuff that they've got. They can lead armies. So you can just create out of thin air a level 3 caster, you know, with just 50 gems. And it's just so strong. Like in this game, I just copied a load of these guys, and you know, I had like 2 of those in one army is just going to make, unless your enemy is, you know, like an enchanter's army full of golems or something, which are just immune to your shenanigans, mostly immune to your shenanigans, then, you know, that's not going to work so well. But even even the you know, undead and golems and other kind of inanimate stuff, they're not going to be able to defeat like hordes and hordes of phantasms, because, you know, you can get phantasms, you can churn out phantasms from these mirrors every turn, 6 of them a turn. So if you've got, like, let's say you've got 1 2 3 4 5, I'm not going to embarrass myself with bad maths again, but every one of these every 10 turns can spit out 60 phantasms, and they're solid. You know, they're not solid, they're ethereal, hard to hit, you know, by anything that doesn't have magic attacks. And, you know, I've explained it before. They charge in, they do a ton of damage. They're really hard to hit. They've got hit points as well. So any, like, golems and stuff have got to fight them as well. Like, so they can even take on enchanters. Like, it's just a ridiculously strong class. I'm interested to know what you guys think of the Illusionist. I think probably it's one of the strongest classes in the game. I don't know about multiplayer, because I don't really play multiplayer apart from, you know, co-op. I don't play competitive multiplayer, but I think that if you can survive the early game with this guy, he's just going to be, you know, it's so fun to play. Like, you know, you've got all these crazy shenanigans. You've got this armies of, you know, these mirrors that spit out phantasms and images, chaff units. Then, you know, the phantasms become incredibly strong chaff. You can teleport them around the, you know, the map pretty much with impunity, providing you've got a mirror where you're going. You can just teleport, you know, easily. You can hide all your strongest assets. I think you can hide your armies. There's stuff that I've not even covered. They basically make low morale troops just run away, or you can capture them or confuse them or put them all to sleep. Yeah, Illusionist, S tier, and there's no doubt about it. I'll fight anybody who disagrees with me. It is definitely one of the most powerful classes in the game. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know what you think about this new series in the comments. I love Conquest of Elysium, I love talking about it, and yeah, as I kind of get my head around more of these classes, I'll be producing more of these videos. Thanks guys, take care, and I'll catch you next time.